Hey y'all, this is Cheryl and thanks for joining me for another video. I'm going to be scrapping a photo of my front porch today, and I'll be using a kit by Digilicious Design at Sweet Shop called Feels Like Home. And I start out and I make my photo really large. I'm not really sure why I wanted it so large, but I did. So I start out, I think too I like that little border of houses, so I added that, and then I wanted to have like something to ground those houses, so I tried the black ribbon, wasn't sure if I was going to keep it, and I decided to do a border along the top and the bottom of the photo. Now it's funny, I never really think of taking a photo every year of my porch when it's dressed up for spring or summer or fall or whatever. But I try to do it every so often, so it's not every year, but it's kind of neat to look back on, what it used to look like before we had that light fixture, or there was one picture that I had and the drapes in the window were different, so it's like you could see the swags instead of just the straight panels, and that frame that you see on the porch there is now hanging. We were just waiting for my husband to get the right things so he could hang that frame in the corner, and so that's been taken care of already. And of course the ferns died, and that was 2 years ago, so we don't have ferns on the front porch. I have like a different flower arrangement, so it all looks kind of different now, and it's neat to see it as it looked that summer, or spring I should say. So now I'm just building up some clusters at the top and the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit of washi, and that's going to go right over the photo and underneath that ribbon. Just kind of like a little layering piece. And I think this dotted paper first. Then I end up going with the plain paper, I think. Yes. Okay, and I've just cut a strip out of that arrow paper, and I didn't quite get it cut well enough, so I'm just going back over and deleting off that tiny little bit of color that you see. And then I'm just going to use that as a layering piece at the top. I'm going to add these little beads. And I'm going to use them in the bottom cluster. And then that arrow, I'm trying to decide where to put it, but it does end up going down to the bottom, pointing up. So from the Home Sweet Home, it's going to sit right to the left of it. And then just point up. I'm just going to rotate it. Then I'm adding another arrow at the top, and that's just to bring in some of that orange that is so predominant in that bottom house border. And this flare I like, and it ends up going on the bottom. On top of that little geofinder arrow. And I like this flower, and I liked having more of the green at the top, but it wasn't fitting in with. It had way too much dimension. I wanted a little less dimension for this particular layout because I wasn't going to do a whole lot of clustering of flowers. And I think this is where I end up bringing in a grouping of paper flowers. Yeah, here it is. And I'm going to just move them around just a little bit, but that's where they're going to end up staying. Then I'm going to add some paint into the background, and I'm going to start out with it in the bottom, then I'm going to duplicate it and bring it up to the top, and I'm going to do that for every piece of paint. So there's green, and you can see me moving around just slightly there, and up at the top, then the orange, and then there's a neutral color as well. And then I do add a little bit of journaling off camera and adding the date as well. And so that's going to complete this layout. And you'll see some close-ups coming right up. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed watching and hearing a little bit about my process. If you like, give me a thumbs up, and be sure to share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.